Hello learners, I Dr. Amit Tapkir from Progressive Education Societies, Modern College of Pharmacy, Yamunanagar Nigadi, Pune. Welcome you all for today's section on anti-amoebic drugs part 2nd. Learning objective. After watching this video, the learner will able to describe chemistry of anti-amoebic drugs. The learner will able to summarize mode of action of anti-amoebic drugs and recall and summarize side effect, toxicity, uses of anti-amoebic drugs. Learners, in a first part, that is in a first lecture, we learn the first azole class of anti-amoebic drugs. In that lecture, we learn the metronidazole and tinidazole and introductory part about anti-amoebic drugs. In today's section, we are going to see dioxazonide furoate, iodoquinol, the drugs from the plant origin and the synthetic derivative of imidine and dihydroimidine, that is a dihydroimidine. Then quinine derivatives, that is a chloroquine, and the antibiotics which are used as an anti-amoebic agents include paramomycin and tetracycline. Dear learners, stop your video and try to find the answer of this question. The question is, how other drugs are effective as an anti-amoebic agents? In last lecture, we learned the tinidazole and metronidazole, how they are as an effective anti-amoebic agents. So the question is now, how other drugs are effective as anti-amoebic agents? I hope that all are think on this. Now play your video and try to find the answer of this question. We will find the answer of this question one by one by studying the drugs for the each and every class of anti-amoebic agents. The first class is the dioxazonide furoate. The dioxazonide is an dichloroacetamide derivative. In structure, the right hand side you can easily find the dichloro and acetamide structure. N C double bond O ClCl. This part is of dichloroacetamide functional group. It is an effective luminal amoebicides, but it not active against tissue schizonticides. The dose of this dioxazonide furoate is 500 mg thrice a day dose for the 10 days. The pharmacokinetic parameter of dioxazonide furoate. After oral administration in the gut, dioxazonide furoate is split into the dioxazonide and furoic acid. About 90% of drug is rapidly absorbed and then conjugated to form glucuronide, which is promptly excreted in the urine. The unabsorbed dioxazonide is the active and anti-amoebic substance. Mechanism of action of dioxazonide furoate is unknown. Clinical use. This drug is used for asymptomatic luminal infection. It is used with tissue amoebicides, usually metronidazole, to treat the serious intestinal and extraintestinal infection. The adverse effect is flatulence is a common adverse effect. Nausea, abdominal cramp, and rashes are other adverse effect. Next drug is iodoquinol. Iodoquinol is a diiodohydroquine derivative. Is a halogenated hydroquinoline. The dose of iodoquinol is 650 mg thrice a day for 21 days. Pharmacokinetic. It is a poorly understood about the pharmacokinetic of iodoquinol. 90% of drug is retained in intestinal and excreted in the feces. The remainder enters the circulation and excreted in the urine as a glucuronide conjugate. Mechanism of action of iodoquinol. The mechanism of action of iodoquinol against trophozoites is unknown. It is effective against organism in the bowel lumen but not against the trophozoites in the intestinal wall or the extra-intestinal tissue. Adverse effect is a diarrhea, anorexia, nausea, vomiting and abdominal pain, headache, rash, pruritus, neurotoxicity with a prolonged use with a high dosage. Caution while using this iodoquinol. Iodoquinol should be taken with meal to limits the GI toxicity. Iodoquinol should be used with a caution in a patient with optic neuropathy, renal or thyroid diseases, or non-amoebic hepatic disorders. The drug may increase the protein-bound serum iodine, leading to the decrease in the measured iodine uptake that persists for the month. It should be discontinued if it is produce persistence diarrhea or a sign of iodine toxicity, which includes dermatitis, urticaria, pruritus, and fever. It is contraindicated in patient with intolerance to iodine. The next class of anti-amoebic agents is the imetin and dihydroimetin. Imetin is the alkaloid derived from the Ipecacuanha plant, and dihydroimetin is a synthetic analog of imetin. Is effective against tissue trophozoites of Entamoeba histolytica, but because of a major toxicity concern, they have been almost completely replaced by the metronidazole. The route of administration is a subcutaneous route, is a preferred route. This drug may be administered by intramuscular but never administered by intravenously. Clinical uses of the imetin and dihydroimetin. Their use is limited to the unusual circumstances. Dihydroimetin is preferred because of its somewhat better toxicity profile. It should be used for the minimum period of usually 3 to 5 days. The adverse effect of imetin and dihydroimetin is diarrhea is common, nausea, vomiting and muscle weakness, cardiac arrhythmia, heart failure and hypotension. These three are the serious toxicities of imetin and dihydroimetin. That's why administer for the shorter period of time with great care. Caution: the drug should not be used in a patient with a cardiac or renal diseases, in young children or in pregnant women. Paromomycin, it's an antibiotic class of anti-amoebic drug. This is an aminoglycoside antibiotic. It is not significantly absorbed from the gastrointestinal tract. The small amount absorbed, it slowly excreted unchanged, mainly by the glomerular filtration. The dose of paromomycin is a 10 mg per kg, thrice a day dose for 7 days. Clinical use of paromomycin, it is used only as a luminal amoebicides, has no effects against extraintestinal amoebic infection. Paromomycin is an effective luminal amoebicides that appear to have similar efficacy and less toxicity than other agents. In a recent study, it was superior to diloxanide furoate in clearing asymptomatic infection. Parenteral paromomycin is under investigation in the treatment of visceral leishmaniasis. Adverse effect of paromomycin: abdominal distress, diarrhea. It should be avoided in a patient with a significant renal diseases and cautiously used with GI ulceration. Next class of antibiotic is the tetracycline class of antibiotic. Tetracycline are broad spectrum bacteriostatic that inhibits the protein synthesis in susceptible microorganisms. They are active against both gram-negative as well as gram-positive bacteria, including anaerobes. The mechanism of action of a tetracycline. The tetracycline enters the microorganism in part by passive diffusion method and in part by an energy dependent process of active transport. Susceptible cell concentrate the drugs intracellularly. Once this tetracycline inside the cell, it binds reversibly to the 30S subunits of the bacterial ribosomes, blocking the binding of amino acid tRNA to the acceptor site on the mRNA ribosomes complex. This prevents addition of amino acids to the growing peptide. In this way, this tetracycline will act as an amoebicides. The dose of tetracycline is a 250 mg thrice a day dose for the 10 days to treat the amoebial infections. Adverse effect include GI tract, in which majorly includes nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. This tetracycline may causes change in bone and teeth structure. Liver and kidney toxicity is common adverse effect for tetracycline. It causes photosensitization and the vestibular reactions. The next antibiotic is erythromycin. The dose is 50 mg, 4 times daily dose for 10 days to treat the amoebial infection. Erythromycin inhibits protein synthesis via binding to the 50S ribosomes RNA, which blocks the amino acid translocation reaction and formation of the initiation complexes. The next drug is the chloroquine. It's a quinoline derivative. It is used in combination with metronidazole and dioxazonide furoate to treat and prevent the amoebic liver abscesses. It eliminates trophozoites in a liver abscesses, but it is not useful in treating luminal amoebiasis. The mechanism of action of chloroquine. Chloroquine probably acts by concentrating in a parasite food vacuoles, preventing the polymerization of a hemoglobin breakdown product, heme into the hemozoin, and thus eliciting parasite toxicity due to the build of free heme. Adverse effects of chloroquine include pruritus, nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, anorexia, headache, blurring of vision is uncommon, hemolysis in a G6PD deficient patient, impaired hearing, agranulocytosis, alopecia, and hypotension are common. These are some references which I used to prepare today's presentation. Thank you. Happy learning.